We need to warn you that this story has graphic language and disturbing content and may not be suitable for minors.
Well, I had a client, and it was alleged that he invited students up to his house. He was giving them blowjobs.
So he was putting a knife to the kid's head to give the kids blowjobs?
For the kids to give him a blowjob.
Yeah, so he was forcing the kids to give him a blowjob with a knife.
Right, that's what the charges were. I had the teacher take a lie detector test. Okay? He passed the lie detector test. This is why I don't believe in lie detector tests. So I advised him, he's going to, with all of this circumstantial evidence, that they can identify the house, the name of his parent.
But you didn't tell them that,
No, I can't. It's like attorney-client. I can't tell him what I know.
Oh my God. But does he still teach, or?
No, he resigned.
But if he wanted to, he still could. He's not registered as a sex offender?
No, because he wasn't convicted. He resigned.
We go now to a scandal sparked by a group known as Project Veritas.
This case is so upsetting to the police chief. It's not just the teacher's alleged behavior, it's also the self-described muckraker who sponsored the sting.
I have blow at the house, whatever anybody wants.
Blow, of course, common word for cocaine.
Everybody's like, wow, such a hypocrite, because if he's doing drugs, why are you preaching to us?
Don't fucking tell anybody anything.
All right.
And if I have to hit you in the back hit him in the back of the head, we'll be done. You don't tell anybody.
I'll give you the first shot.
You've done this with students?
I've done this more than once. And I said, but I'll guarantee you, I will kick your fucking ass.
If the kid never comes forward.
That's not a problem, okay? So leave it like that and pray that maybe to come forward, okay?
Mitchell Rubinstein is the senior counsel for New York State United Teachers. Our journalist met him in December of 2015 at a holiday party for the union.
Right.
You represent the teachers who have sex with the kids and things like that.
Yeah. Okay.
The tenured teachers who can't get fired, who are giving the kids blowjobs in class and things like that.
Yes. Basically, that's it. But you read about it in the paper. But I don't. But that's not all our cases. I mean, that's what you read about in the New York Post. But
yeah, but it's all true.
Most of it's true.
What's the craziest one that you've heard, though, that's where they were definitely guilty, where they are still teaching, where you're that guy's or that girl's a total scumbag and you shouldn't be teaching?
I've had a lot of them.
Really? What's the craziest one? What's the craziest one where the craziest scumbag teacher who you drive by the school and you're ew, there's a pedophile teaching there, there's a druggie teaching there?
Well, I had a client and it was alleged that he
invited students up to his house. Okay. Was he a principal?
No, teacher.
Elementary school teacher?
It was a junior high school teacher.
Ew.
Okay, and he invited students up to his house. He was giving them blowjobs and stuff male.
Oh, so he was gay.
I don't know if he was gay, but it was male.
He was giving male.
But it was mostly.
It was a male teacher giving male students.
And the charges were that they brought him up that, because this is what the students reported, they took a knife to their neck that they had. He did? This is what he was charged with, that he had to take a knife to their head to give him a blowjob. Okay?
So he was putting a knife to the kid's head to give the kids blowjobs?
For the kids to give him a blowjob.
Yeah, so he was forcing the kids to give him a blowjob with a knife.
Right. That's what the charges were.
Oh my God, it's like rape, but...
Rubinstein works for the Teachers Union in New York City. As a union lawyer, he defends teachers, no matter how reprehensible their crimes.
You're asking me what the worst I ever had was.
That's so bad.
Okay.
The story shocked us, but it got worse because Rubinstein told us the teacher got away with his outrageous sexual assault with little more than a slap on the wrist.
It is so bad, and there was several allegations like that, and so it was the kid's word against the teacher's word, and I had the teacher take a lie detector test. Okay, he passed the lie detector test. This is why I don't believe in lie detector tests. Okay, and I said to him, Mike, how did you pass the lie?
What's his name?
His name was Mike. Okay, I don't even remember his last name. Okay, but it was how do you pass the lie detector test? And he said, every time they asked me, did I force to have sex with the kid, it wasn't forceful, it was voluntary. So he, in his mind, believed that it was okay. Because it was voluntary, when it really wasn't voluntary.
Oh.
Okay. They
was
were alleging.
Psychological.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's how he passed the lie detector test, because he kept saying no, because they were asking, did you force to have sex with a kid? And the answer was no. and that was in his mind technically true, although legally when you're that young you can't have that.
Oh my God.
So anyway, he passes the lie detector test, and then so students, he actually had a student come in and testify against him, and then the student says, he has a parrot. His parrot, his name is Petey, and he says, "Okay, Mike, how do the students know your parrot is Petey?" Okay, and he says, "Oh, easy, kids like pets. I use pets like as a motivation in teaching and everything. So I tell them, my pet is Petey. So they, I use Petey as part of the, okay." And we go on, and then the students, they have your phone number. This is your cell number. I get discovery from them. So the students are saying, "This is your cell number." How do they have your cell number? Okay.
But you were defending the teacher.
I'm always defending the teacher. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do they have your cell number? We get discovery. So the student, saying we have the cell number. How do the students have your cell number? Oh, I know I shouldn't give it to them, but I help them after school with tutoring and stuff. So I give them my cell number. Okay. And then it gets, then one of the students describes his living room. It says he has, I don't know, brown couch, and he has a picture of a ship on his wall, or something. He says, "Okay, Mike, do you have a brown couch, and do you have a picture of your ship on the wall?" He says, "Yeah, I tell students I have this," and some of the students they drop stuff off for me. Okay, and I'm this is pretty bad. They're in the house. Well, but they drop stuff off for me, and he's in complete denial. Remember, and he passes his lie detector test, and I go to him, "Dude, you're gonna go to jail if this goes bad, because this is like forced sex with a minor. This is as bad as you get." So then he didn't know this, but they subpoenaed his phone records, and believe it or not, and don't ask me how this is, but the kid, who's a high school kid, called his girlfriend from Mike's house. So Mike's phone number had the girlfriend's phone number, and it says, "Mike, now how did I have the girl's phone number on your house?" And at that time, he broke down. He admitted he had a problem, and he resigned. Thank God. And
he admitted he had a problem, as in he forced.
He admitted to me.
Oh.
So I advised him, he's going to, with all of this circumstantial evidence, that they can identify the house, the name of his parrot.
But you didn't tell them that,
No, I can't. It's like attorney-client. I can't tell him what I know.
Oh my God! But does he still teach, or?
No, he resigned.
But if he wanted to, he still could. He's not registered as a sex offender?
No, because he wasn't convicted. He resigned.
That's it. Resigned. A teacher was found to be forcing students to perform oral sex on him at the point of a knife, and all that happens is he is forced to resign.
He resigned.
But the union knows about this stuff, right? They know, that these people.
I'm the union. I'm representing him, and
wow.
But you asked me about the worst. That's the worst.
That's the worst.
That's the worst that I've had.
So this guy,
The story shocked and sickened us. We decided we needed to find this Mike to try and confirm the story and to make sure he was no longer a threat to children. Obviously something the New York Union and Mr. Rubinstein didn't seem to care about. We quickly determined we needed more information. We had another journalist arrange another meeting with union lawyer Rubinstein.
One of my first cases, I had a guy who was alleged, he was a junior high school teacher, and he was alleged to forcibly, he was a male teacher, male students, have all sex with male students, okay? He's alleged to have done it by force, by knife point and by gun.
By gun?
By gun and by knife point. These are the charges, okay?
Okay. And?
Rubinstein repeated the story, further convincing us of its veracity.
Okay. We go through discovery, you get documents and things.
Yeah.
So I say, how do these students have your phone number? First mistake is usually done. Well, I'm helping them with the homework, the difficult things. Okay, I have that one. Okay. He says you have a parrot by the name of Petey. How does he know your parrot? Do you have a parrot by the name of Petey? He goes, yeah, I have a parrot by the name of Petey. He actually admitted to it.
Oh.
That he did it. And then there's one step I left out. I had him take a lie detector test. And
So similar, it's crazy, but okay.
He passed the lie detector test. Okay, and but he did it. And I said to him, how do you pass the lie detector test? And then he said to me, this is why they're not reliable. He said because it was voluntary. He was having voluntary oral sex. And he kept in his mind that the charges were saying that it was like a gun or a knife to the kid's throat. So he said to me, every time that the polygraph examiner said to him, are you doing this? He said, I wasn't doing it, it was voluntary. You know, the kid, it wasn't involuntary. He was like reading into it that it was involuntary. And, you know, I think the kid, to protect his, I don't know, manhood or whatever, told the investigators, made up a story about the gun and the knife, but they had sex anyway. You know, you can't.
Like actual sex.
Well, oral sex.
Okay.
It's man on man.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe they had sex. I don't know what you want to call it. But so that's what. So he was guilty and he passed the lie detector test. And I told him, hey, you can't go to trial because you're going to wind up in jail.
Yeah.
And I actually convinced him to resign.
You did?
Yeah, because I think it was to go to trial is a crazy thing, and he resigned. So that's pretty bad.
Pretty bad? We think horrific. We needed to find out more.
Pretty bad.
Was this in New York?
Yes.
Was this in the city?
Yes.
Where? You have to tell me because I'm not kidding, that was so similar to my cousin.
I don't even remember where. I couldn't tell you.
Okay, come on.
I know. I really don't remember where. I mean, this is.
How long ago?
20 years ago.
20 years? Was it in Manhattan?
I don't even remember. You know,
This is your craziest
I remember it was a U of T. U of T is citywide, so it's all 5 boroughs, but nice that it's statewide.
Yeah.
But I mostly work in the city. But
So
it was somewhere in the city. Yeah, I couldn't tell you where. I want to say it was around Penn Station, around here actually. I want to say that because, believe it or not, about 2 years later, I ran into him in the street.
So he was still living in New York?
Get this, he was running for city council, handing out flyers.
Oh my God, what's his name?
I can't tell you his name. He didn't win.
What do they call it? When you run and you have to run in like certain
Primary?
precincts?
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't even know.
I would love to, like, do you think he's running right now?
Oh,
like, do you think he's in political office? What do you think he's doing?
I haven't seen his name in a long time.
We should even remember his name.
No, but I haven't seen him. I haven't seen his name in anything, you know.
But you said you don't even remember his name.
I remember his name, but I haven't seen it. I haven't seen him. I'll tell you his first name. His first name is Mike.
So, was his name Mike? Was it?
No, it wasn't. I never met a before.
You haven't?
So today?
Well, there's a couple of us in the city.
Okay, alright.
That is insane. So you know his last name? I don't get it. Why can't you tell me?
Turns out I said this.
It was 20 years ago. That doesn't make any sense to me. Isn't there like a statute of limitations on that?
What do you need to know about that?
I want to Google him and see what he's doing.
I hope he's dead. I mean, it was really disgusting.
I can't believe he ran for city council.
I don't know if it was the primary. I don't know how far he got. Maybe he was just trying to get signatures. Even when I saw him, I haven't seen him on TV or anything. It was
20 years ago was in the 90s, 96. When did you start?
I'm going to tell you how old I am. I started in 1990.
In 1990? So this was probably like 92, 93?
I couldn't tell you that. It could be 92, 93, 94. Yeah, a long time.
What if you don't tell me his name, but you give me a really strong hint? Have you ever seen those? I love these puzzles.
Rubinstein didn't give us any more, but we were determined to find this Mike. We have hired 2 different private investigation firms to locate Mike. We consulted with a ranking officer of a New York suburban police force, and we did extensive research on our own. We checked court records and election files for names of city council candidates. Unfortunately, we hit a brick wall. We need your help to solve this mystery. We want to find Mike and make sure he is not a threat to our children. A very disturbing sex crime has been committed against a child, and the system prevents that crime from ever being brought to light, let alone the perpetrators ever being brought to justice. Are the teachers' unions so powerful that they can protect, cover up, and condone a crime committed against our children while in their care? Are the rights of the teachers' union members so absolute that it can supersede the rights of a child not to be forced to have sex while a knife is pointed at his throat? What type of country are we living in where people are attacked and vilified for promoting reform by the media, when the media should be exposing these atrocities to begin with? Perhaps, as one columnist put it, people inside the system have lost their minds as well as their souls.